I'm starting it off right now. Oh, we just started.
Oh shit.
Live.
We are so live. Hello, welcome to Win in Six podcast.
On your house.
Happy
birthday,
Jason Kidd.
Oh, I hope he's not watching this.
For our eventual soundboard, I'm gonna have a soundboard for each player, and like we press the button, it's like just someone saying the name. And for Chris Middleton, it's definitely gonna be is it Paschke? It just goes Middleton.
Middleton!
Oh, Middleton! When he shoots the three, Middleton.
That's gonna be really good.
I'll get that up and running ASAP.
Okay. All right. Well, here we go. Legit. All right.
Winning dicks.
Winning dicks. All right. Hello and welcome into the 77 Bucks podcast. I'm your host, Adam Paris. Voice crack right off the bat here. Puberty coming back to haunt me. I'm joined by my fellow co-host, Brian Payne.
Hey, how's it going, guys?
And Dylan Paris.
Hey, boys and girls.
All, I would say, lifelong Bucks fans.
For sure.
Definitely lifelong. Yeah, and encyclopedic knowledge among all of us. So we thought it was really time that we don't restrict ourselves in our takes, and it's time to put them out sort of into the ether and into the public. So this podcast, they've been asking for it. So the Milwaukee Bucks season just started up Monday night, actually, with a preseason game against the Chicago Bulls. A valiant effort. We all definitely tuned in and paid a lot of attention on all our parts. The Bucks have a couple more games coming up here. I don't know if it was quite as entertaining as the Fan Fest scrimmage. That really held my attention. I don't know about you guys, which one you guys preferred.
Well, I think the game against the Bulls actually got better ratings than the vice presidential debate. I'm pretty sure.
When I looked at the live stream, yeah, I didn't check actually, but I think the live stream numbers were pretty comparable. I was on VIP boxed Ratchet stream, so those numbers aren't quite as publicly available as the debate ones.
I heard it was actually right up there with the presidential debate too. Like it's not quite the 80 million, but it's pretty close.
I hadn't heard that yet, so that's breaking news. You heard it here first.
Said it on Twitter.
77 bucks.
Stop the presses.
So yeah, the season's underway. We're starting to learn a bit more about the roster. Obviously, we all had our own perceptions of what the team was going to be like this year. Those were sort of thrown into disarray when Chris Middleton got hurt. I think that's one of the more disheartening early season injuries that the Bucks have had in quite some time, especially for a team that was hoping to come back and potentially challenge for a playoff spot. But we'll see how the season plays out from here. But let's just start this off. Since it's a new season, there's tons of over-unders and prop bets we can throw out there. So let's just I want to get your guys' temperature on a couple of these that I threw together. Over-under, 2.5 new players on the team by the season's end.
I'm going to start this off, and I'm going to go with the over. The Bucks have a lot of trash near the bottom of that roster that's just going to get rotated right on through. There's some we're not even really sure who's going to make the final cut, but guys like J.J. O'Brien, like if that guy is the 15th guy in the roster, you know he's not going to be making it past November. And we're going to get someone new filing in there. I'm going with the over.
Yeah, I was going to take the over too. Even if you look at the past few seasons, like Jason Kidd is not afraid to bring in weird new people like Jorge Gutierrez and give other players time to shine, like playing Damian English like 2 minutes or getting those Johnny O'Brien minutes in there. I think there'll probably be some trades and weird free agent pickups, and we'll probably like get rid of somebody who we don't even care about.
Well, Devil's snare here. I think I'm going to take the under then. and go with 2. This is this has the feel of a season where they're just going to start they're going to see what Giannis and Jabari are doing. No one's biting on Greg Monroe. No one wanted him in the offseason. They're not going to want him in the middle of a season. MCW, no one's going to want him either. And I don't know who else the Bucks are going to offload. It's not like people are going to be clamoring for Jason Terry or Steve Novak or any of those guys, really. So this has the feel of a season that's going to feel a little bit like last year, sort of a season that just sort of trudged along and they just stuck around average, and they ended up not being able to really make any deals. And they just were the same team basically at the end that they were at the beginning, except they happen to know that Giannis might have a more defined role. That was about it. So I'm going to go with the under. I think this team's just going to end up sort of be middling to below average and just ride it out and see what happens next summer.
The preseason status quo.
I mean, it's worked so far. They're 1-0, and that 1-0 mentality. I mean, 100%, 1,000% winning percentage. So can't quibble with that. All right, here's hashtag analytics. Here's one that's a little more exciting. Over under 14.5 triple doubles for Giannis. Now, that's a pretty high number. Russell Westbrook had a crazy statistical season last year by a lot of measures. It was one of the best statistical seasons of all time, and he had 18. So that's a high bar for Giannis. Last year in 26 games, he had 5 triple doubles. So what do you guys think? Think there's any chance he gets the over, or are you going to be a little more pessimistic and show that you're a Giannis hater?
I'm going to go with the hate on this. I'm going to go for the under. But, with Giannis playing point guard, he's going to get those assists. He's going to have 11, 12, 14, 18, 26 assists a night. And the problem is, though, his rebounds are going to go way down because he's going to be a perimeter threat. This guy is going to be averaging 8 3-point attempts a game, and it's just going to be on the outside the entire time. He'll never have a chance to get a rebound. They won't go anywhere near him. He won't need to because he'll also be sinking all of them, so it's fine.
Dill, tough to beat that. Those are lofty goals. What do you think, Dill?
Oh, boy, that's a tough act to follow. You know what? I'll take the over. I think there's going to be some big opportunities for him to get assists, which I think is going to be the hardest one for him to get. With Mirza and Delhi, I think they're going to be playing a lot of minutes together, those 3. I think he'll be able to get a lot of assists on the 3-pointers, but then be able to really dominate inside, get those boards,
So that
He's
was
a good
actually
basketball player.
And I mean, that's a statement that you can't quibble with at all. And that actually brings me to an interesting point that came off of the last game. Giannis wasn't on the floor too much with Mirza Teletovic. Neither was Giannis and Jabari. And there was a little debate on Twitter today. Frank Madden of Brew Hoop talked about it. And Zach Lowe actually said that he was writing about this exact topic, about it. Basically a lineup that's Dellavedova, Giannis, Jabari, Mirza Teletovic, and Miles Plumlee. So basically you have at your nominal 3 and 4 slots, basically 2 pretty minus defenders. Definitely in Jabari. Teletovic maybe has a worse reputation than he actually is. But what do you guys think about that? Do you guys think that's a lineup that is playable, or is that something that Giannis and Jabari won't really be able to share the floor as much with Mirza as they'd like? Because he definitely provides that chucker 3-point mentality that the Bucks didn't even have in Chris Middleton. He didn't put him up at the rate that Mirza did.
Might really come down to if you can play Jabari and Mirza Teletovic on defense, because that could be. We'll have to see if the other 3 can shore up the defensive end, adding hole at those positions. Might depend who we're playing.
With the way the Bucks played last year on defense, I don't think Coach Kidd is going to be afraid at all to try these weird lineups that might end up just being total disasters on defense. Obviously, we have a long way to go up, and we can pretty much only go up from last year. But, really, how bad we were last year? Why not give some guys a shot here and see if anything can come together and try to get like you said, some 3-point threats out there. Try to do something, something a little different. Who cares if the other team scores 2 points and we can get 3? The math works out.
I mean, analytics are the name of the game here in Payne. You brought it. I think one interesting thing, it seems like some of the prevailing thought and discussion around this team, especially nationally, is this propensity to get weird, which Jason Kidd definitely has, and I think is sort of bred out of Giannis's strangeness. Definitely, like out of drafting Thon. I mean, how we have this crazy length. People just talk about our length, and I think people look at us as like a team that likes to experiment with stuff. So I think you're definitely on the right track. That's something that I'm sure Jason Kidd will give a chance. I'd even thought about this one on the offensive end might be a little strange, but if they go with like a, if they were able to do like a 2-guard lineup, maybe with Delly, Brogdon, Jabari, and Mirza, this would really rely on Jabari being able to double body up on the other team's wing, but then Giannis basically playing center in small ball lineups on defense exclusively. But that would really rely on having a second guard who can shoot reliably, because at this point, Dellavedova is really the only guy that we have that fits. Brogdon hasn't really proven himself. Vaughn hasn't proven himself. And MCW hasn't proven himself either. But at least from a fit standpoint, that would at least could get 3 shooters on the floor for Giannis. Anyway, we'll go on to another over/under. Let's look at 3-point attempts. Taking off our Mirza discussion. Last year, the Bucks ranked last in 3-pointers made and 3-pointers attempted as a team. But there's been a lot of talk, as there always is pretty much every preseason, about wanting to increase that number, shoot more threes. And the Bucks definitely, got the players in for it. Dellavedova can shoot. Mirza Teletovic, as we've stated multiple times over, loves to put it up. So how about this? In terms of the team ranking and 3-pointers attempted for this season, will be over or under the 24.5 ranked team in the league for 3-pointers attempted?
I think I gotta go the under on that. Without our biggest 3-shooting threat in Middleton, he probably ate up, I want to say, at least a quarter, if not more, of the 3-point attempts throughout the entire team. And with him just completely gone, I don't think that the rest of the guys are really going to make up for that deficit.
Dill, what say you?
I think I'm going to take the over, as in like under 24th, right? Like under 24.5 number. A higher ranking. We're going to shoot more threes, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, you were saying that too, Payne, right?
No. I think we're going to be ranked worse than 24.
Oh. There it is. Okay, so Dylan, go with your argument.
Hot takes.
So a higher ranking. We're going to shoot more. And I think that's – well, Middleton's gone, so I think everybody else is going to know that they need to step up. But I think with the progression of Giannis and Jabari as shooters, hopefully they'll be less hesitant to shoot. Mirza and Delly are proven shooters, and I think they'll be big factors. We lost Bayless and Mayo, but they were iffy kind of for most of last season. Well, at least OJ was gone. And then I think that's going to be the biggest factor. I think they're all going to share the wealth, and I think we'll shoot more. I hope, if they go in.
I think I'm going to go with Dill on this too. I think we're going to shoot more. I think, Giannis and Jabari, they almost can't. Especially Jabari, almost can't shoot. He can't shoot really any less than he did last year. I think maybe had, less than 20 all year. I think it was at a pretty low number. So I think they're really going to get out there. I think Mirza is really going to help that a lot. A lot of Beasley was actually shot quite a few corner threes, and I don't know how many minutes he'll actually see come regular season, but he actually shot quite a few corner threes in Monday's game. And even if Beasley played the amount of minutes that J.O.B. played, that's more shots than J.O.B. made. Even though J.O.B. has that 100% 3-point percentage, led the league. So
thank you.
Tough to beat that.
Never forget.
Thank you, Dylan. So I think they're going to be. I think they're going to shoot more threes. So I'm going to take the under. Those are most of the good over-unders that we have. So let's do a couple weird prop bets here. I couldn't find the Vegas odds on this one, but which new player do you guys think will have the best-selling jersey at the end of the year? It's at Steve Novak, Dellavedova, Teletovic, Beasley, Maker, or Brogdon.
I'm going to go a little different here. I think the best-selling jersey for the Bucks this year won't be any of those new jerseys. It'll be a different one. Here's the new marketing ploy. It's going to be number 11. Here's how it works. There's going to be a new marketing scheme with Giannis, arms outstretched, and then it's going to be Thon Maker, arms outstretched, and it's going to be everyone on the team with their wingspans out, and it's going to be a jersey that says team all length, and the last L in all and the first L in length are going to be ones, and it's going to be number 11. Bucks are going with team all length to be their new best-selling jersey.
Off book, that's a great suggestion. They should hire you. I mean, that's a great suggestion. Dylan, do you have any response? I mean,
there's no way you can follow that up. I think that's a no-brainer now. But if I had to say, I think Dellavedova. I think people are going to jump on that Aussie bandwagon. People are skeptical about Maker because they don't know anything about him. They think he's 29 years old, and nobody wants to buy a 29-year-old's jersey. So I think the Dellavedova jersey, sure,
and I think
is number one.
Once Milwaukee people hear him too, and they realize he has that, they wonder what his accent is. They'll think he's sort of an oddity. So they really nice to have just sort of a new culture in there. No, they might think he's just Andrew Bogut.
Yeah, it'll be good to introduce them to the Southern Hemisphere because most people in Milwaukee probably don't know what's down there.
All right, how about this? First player sent to the D League: Thon Maker, Malcolm Brogdon, or Rashad Vaughn.
Thon Maker, logjam at the center, and I don't know if they'll want to play him at 4 or if they will. Kid talks about playing the 2 big lineups, but I think it'll be Thon because he's young and they want to get him some actual minutes against competition and have some actual film on him instead of grainy Canadian prep league film. Like back alley wrestling film.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's some potential for Brogdon to be our guy that we send down there. If he gets a couple minutes in the first couple of games of the season and he seems to be floundering a little bit in NBA pro competition, even though he has that spent 4 years in college and we think that he has a little bit more pro-ready status, if for whatever reason he doesn't seem to quite live up to this, like the bench competition that he's going to be playing against in these early season games, he could be sent down for a couple weeks to hang out in the D League and just really get his feet ready for the program to, try and adjust himself a little bit more. We all think he has the shooting capabilities and a little bit more of the knowledge than these other younger guys, but he might just need a couple more, little bit less pressure situations to really start to get his feet wet in the NBA.
What do you guys think about the potential? Jason Kidd's known for being a cutthroat guy. What do you guys think about the potential of him pulling the ultimate power move and sending Novak down to the D League and really saying that no one's safe?
Nobody would come to the Bucks games if they did that. Everybody's there for Steve.
There's an impressive number. I saw an impressive number of Steve Novak jerseys at Milwaukee, considering I know he has hometown ties there, but double down on an authentic Steve Novak jersey.
Jerseys or jerseys?
Jersey, authentic jerseys.
Woof. Was it just his parents?
I don't know. He looked pretty young, but So if it was his parents, that'd be impressive. I think they'd be younger than him. So,
Wait, was this at the preseason game or the Fan Fest?
Anecdotal on Twitter.
Because maybe they just wanted to like get it out of the way. All those people, they're like, we'll show up for Fan Fest for Steve, and then we got it out of the way.
That's the one game now. We don't have to go back to watch him sit on the bench. Ride the pine.
It's like getting there for the first 5 minutes of a party, and then you can leave. Like, oh, we made an appearance.
Yeah.
Shook hands. Whispered sweet nothings. Then we're out.
All right, here's another one. Last one. Who's going to end this season with the worst player efficiency rating on the team? Last year, the big winner was your favorite of mine, Rashad Vaughn, with 4.2. A pretty historically low player efficiency rating, considering how many minutes he played. Second was Chris Copeland at 5.4. Sadly, just got waived, I believe, by the Pelicans. But he had a good run. He had a good run. So who do you guys think? Who's going to have the worst PER on the team? And just so you know, usually it's pretty tough for centers to have it because it favors guys that are able to get that shoot a high rating, that are able to get rebounds and do sort of things, do versatile things. So shooting guards are really at a disadvantage. So like even John Henson had posted an 18.6 and he was third on the team. So 15 is considered about average. And Giannis was at 18.8. Chris Middleton was only at 16.8. So
I'm thinking maybe Michael Beasley. I think we might only throw him in there.
Yeah.
We might throw him in there at the ends of games and blowouts when we're just, and if he's in there, we're hemorrhaging points left and right. Frantic launching, we'll be able to make up for that. So I'm gonna go out on a limb and say Michael Beasley.
I guess for a similar reason, I'm going to say Steve Novak. He didn't play a lot last year, but when he did, he wasn't really a particularly efficient player. Near the bottom of PERs last year and for the Bucks, and he's still just going to be a mess. So I'm going to go with him because I have faith that Vaughn is at least going to go up 1 or 2 rankings in the Bucks' bottom PER listings.
Steve cannot catch a break. Played in 3 games last year. He had the 4th worst PER on the team, and you're thinking he's just going to plummet even further this year.
He's going to be bad. I'm ready for it. I'm ready to see it.
Did he lead the team in knee surgeries?
I think he did actually, which is good.
It's good.
It could have been It could have been someone worse.
That's what you want to 38-year-olds.
I think I'm probably going to go with. I'm going to go with Vaughn again. I'm really worried about him. I want him to improve, but I think he's going to get a lot of minutes this year, and he has an incredible ability to play atrociously and not be a part of anything that's happening on the court. It's uncanny how invisible he's able to be while he's out there. So I'm gonna double down on Vaughn maybe not having a great second season, and it's disappointing, but I think he's going to continue that reign, and it'll be hopefully sort of unprecedented. JOB even shot up to 7.4 last year from his. I think he was 4.1 his rookie season, then shot up to 7.4. So if Vaughn did that, that would be an amazing improvement, but I think he's going to stay in the basement.
Vaughn takes home the belt.
And it is prestige. It's like one of those chastity belts that has the hooks in it, or like one of those Opus Dei belts that's sort of punishing you. I think that's probably what it would look like. All right, let's move on to some reader mail. This is mail from people who wrote into us either on Twitter or on Gmail or that Dylan just made up. So this one's from BucksFran3. What new addition are you most excited to see? And then he said that rhymes.
I'm going to go with an obvious one and say Thon Maker. You know, I want to see what that little 29-year-old toothpick can do. I want to see what that kid can do when we actually put him up against real NBA competition and not middle schoolers when he's twice their age. You know, I want to know if that 10th draft pick is worth it.
I'm going to go with my man down under, Kangaroo Jack, Dellavedova. I think people are really excited to see him play the off-ball point guard with Giannis at point. And I think that Delly could do something on defense, especially if he learns our scheme, because he's just scrappy, little snake down there. I'm going over 5.5 injuries he causes this season. I think Milwaukee's a scrappy town. I think he fits in well. I think people are going to like his shtick.
Now, what about him drinking Coronas? Like, how quick do you think that's going to change to a Miller Lite?
Oof. If it doesn't change too fast, people are going to turn on him.
That's what I think too. That's no place for those Coronas in a Miller town.
No, he needs to drink a Miller and stand next to that weird Fonzie statue. And I think people will jump on the bandwagon.
That would have been a good over-under. Is like over-under, like 75 Fonzie B-rolls footage during the games this year. I think every game without fail, someone just has to show the damn Fonzie statue and thinks it looks so cool. I would have gone with Thon too, Brian. I'm pretty excited to actually see what he's able to do in a real NBA environment. But since you took him already, I'm going to go with Mirza Teletovic. I don't think we've had anyone who's just so willing to put up a three-point shot as this guy. And actually, if I was watching just some compilation videos of him just putting up threes, and he was like, it was weirdly mesmerizing. Like it put you in a trance. Like it was really weird. So, but I liked it, and it put me in. I mean, it's a good trance to be in if he's going to be making those at a much higher clip than anyone else on the Bucks. So, 3 good players, and hopefully they'll show us the goods this year. All right, this one comes from Dylan Paris. If you could make a player stop doing one thing, who and what would it be?
I'm not sure if this is in the spirit of the question, and we kind of touched on this a little earlier. Jabari Parker not shooting threes. Last season, he played 72 games and chucked up a grand total of 35 three-point attempts. And, you know, I just think this is a kid who's capable of more than that. I want to see him, you know, take more chances here. When he gets open looks, I want him to, you know, to actually go for it. And we don't know if this is him not shooting well, if this is Jason Kidd telling him not to take these shots, which is something that we've heard rumors of, I think, with Giannis, where he was told to, like, stop taking threes. You know, we don't know what side of the coin this comes from, but it's something that I want to see more
of. I think I'm going to go with more of a psychological thing. Michael Carter-Williams, stop thinking that you're better than you are. I think MCW needs to stick to his guns. Just play to his game. Don't try to go too fast. Don't turn the ball over. Make smart plays. And I think Keita getting us out on the break, get it to Giannis so he can run the point, and MCW just run off screens and hopefully see if you can make some shots.
I was actually pretty encouraged by what I saw with MCW and Dellavedova on the court. They seemed like they formed a pretty good D tandem, and Dellavedova is really able to space the floor, so it lets MCW really sort of do his weird cutting things. He can get in and get a weird offensive rebounds, putbacks, just like tip stuff back out. So lets him do sort of the hustle stuff. So I was pretty encouraged by that. I guess I would have to go with Chris Middleton, and it would stop being injured, and have his hamstring back. So that's what I would go with. All right, if you could assign one player to play for the Bucks for free, so he doesn't count against the salary cap or anything, but he can only play 15 minutes a game, who would it be? One player on the roster, I should clarify.
Oh, that's what the question means.
Yeah.
I would probably go with our most expensive guy right now, Mr. Monroe. He's a great guy, and we look good when he's out on the court, but he's not going to be with the team in a year. At least none of us expect him to go to not take advantage of his player option this summer or to not be traded during the rest of the season. So that's a guy who's taken up something like $17.5 million this year. And if we could cut that down and give our two centers that we paid recently the opportunity to really take over the team without Monroe there, I think that would be nothing but good.
I was definitely thinking along the lines of a center just because of our cap situation. And I thought about saying Plumlee, but I think Plumlee's going to play the most minutes. So that doesn't really make sense. Then I wanted to say Henson. Then I was like, he's probably not even going to play 15 minutes a game. And we don't want him to. So I don't even know. I can't even think of anybody.
I think I'll go with Mirza. No, he's not making a ton of money, $10 million. That's a very reasonable contract, I think, for him. But 15 minutes is a good, I think, about what he'll play, and then that $10 million bucks would open up quite a bit of cap space to potentially sign a wing or be able to take on salary in a trade if someone wanted to offload someone and give us some assets. That would be good. So I think I'd go with Mirza Televic. Next one. Who's the team? This is a good one. Who's the team's enforcer? Who's going to be suspended and ejected? Who's going to set the tone for this team in this season? I would have to say this is going to – I think it's probably going to be this is a weird one, and maybe it'll be unintentional. He's going to be the enforcer, but I think it might be Michael Beasley. I know he had sort of his hallelujah come to Jesus moment when he was in China and out of the league, and he was putting up, those gaudy 30-point-a-game numbers. And those are, the Shanghai Sharks will always be indebted to him. But I think he comes in and he plays with an edge. And that's sort of been his MO his entire career. And I think definitely for suspended ejected, he's going to do that. And I think he's going to want to step up and be sort of the guy to set the tone after any scrums.
Who would we say was our enforcer last year? All I can remember is the John Henson Memphis game. Is the one that really sticks out in my mind. OJ was kind of.
I think it was probably OJ.
Yeah.
And I think, he might have been enforcing stuff for a different reason.
Yeah, I was gonna say he was. Yeah. You know what? I don't think he's most likely to be suspended and ejected, but I think Giannis might be the enforcer. He's the most intimidating player we have. That was gross. I think, there's that mean face Giannis. I think that is like a microcosm of what's to come. He's going to be angry this year, and he's going to go out and ball don't lie, and he's going to do with his play. But then I think if anybody wrongs him, he's not afraid to look at the
at the end of the Bulls game.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm hoping for not that to happen, but he's not afraid to fight for his teammates. You can see that.
Yeah.
He's got
Payne?
heart.
Oof. This is just such a tough one. I like the Giannis answer, but you know what? I think it's going to be our boy, Michael Carter-Williams. He's going to be floundering this year, but he's still got that Rookie of the Year in the back of his mind. He thinks, I can't shoot as well as people thought I am. I'm not, the primary point guard here. I got to do something to make myself valuable, make myself important. And he's just going to start throwing punches, that's just got to be his role on the team, and Kidd is going to appreciate that.
All right, that's a great one. One I hadn't actually thought of until right now is maybe Jason Terry. Maybe not most suspended, ejected, but it seems like I don't know. He's willing to mix it up a little bit. He's the wily vet, and he's pretty much acted as a spokesperson for the team already, and he's barely been on the team very long. So he's someone else who could fit in that role.
I could see Greg Monroe being like pushing some bodies around just because he's a big dude. He likes to, down low, he's screaming and yelling. I could see him enforcing at times. But who do we think is going to be suspended or ejected the most? My mind would go to Beasley first.
Yeah,
I don't know what his ejection stats are like.
I'll look him up quick here. Surprisingly hard. I had a hard time finding ejections.
That's an important stat. How is that not readily available?
I know, it's incredibly important.
It should go points, rebounds, ejections.
It should go ejections, games played.
Minutes played, ejections, games played.
Ejections, then what season it is.
Ejections, then their name.
Okay, here it is. Oh,
okay.
Well, you guys might be surprised to know this. Only 2 ejections in his career.
Really?
Ridiculous.
Yeah.
But I will tell you, here's a little...
That's it. You're right. That is a travesty.
Here's a sweet little
Sure
tidbit.
that's not just like only preseason or something?
Sorry, Dill. Give us that sweet Dylan nugget of the day.
According to uproxx.com, UPROXX, shout out, an article on December 3rd, 2012, Michael Beasley had one of the 14 strangest fines, ejections, and suspensions in NBA history.
Tune in next week to find out what it is.
If my internet was loading, I would tell you.
Okay, let's end it with just a couple things, 2 things looking forward. All right, what's the new "Bend for Ben" slogan? That was the oft-used rallying cry for tanking teams trying to get Ben Simmons. The "Bending for Ben." If the Bucks are awful this year, what's the draft rallying cry? I'm not super well versed in all the guys at the top of the draft. I know there's Markelle Fultz, Harry Giles, there's a Jackson. I'll pull some guys up on Draft Express really quick.
There's the what's that family of kids going to USC that shoots threes?
Oh yeah, Lonzo Ball.
Lonzo Ball.
Yeah. Okay, so I'll read you guys like the. Let's see. I'm looking where Lonzo Ball is going 14th in Draft Express's next year draft. The top 5 are number 1, Markelle Fultz, 2, Dennis Smith, 3, Jason Tatum, 4, Josh Jackson, 5, Harry Giles. So those are some of the names we're working with. Let's see.
Fultz is a tough one. I haven't come up with a lot of rhymes for that. I think there's a lot of potential in Giles. Bile is a good starting point, but I'm not really sure where to go from there. Lonzo Ball obviously has a ton of potential, but the question is, if you're number 14, that's is that tanking? No, that's Is that a playoff spot?
It's the first lottery spot.
Yeah, the first lottery spot.
So first team out of the playoff.
Yeah. I don't know. It's a tough one. You guys have any thoughts, any opinions?
I think what we have to assess here is how we're assessing these draft prospects, because I think number 1 or 2 should definitely be weighted more into whether their name has a good rhyme that can be used for tanking, like the Chosen Rosen in college football, something like that.
Suck for luck.
Exactly. I think
you're right.
We need to reassess how we look at prospects. Draft Express needs to redo that algorithm.
I was looking on their site and I didn't see anything like that, so I think that's probably worth sending them in a tip. Yeah, I was thinking maybe something like playing a days for Nigel Hayes. I know he's fallen off a little bit, but that might be a good one. Tanking for Nigel Hayes would be impressive. That would involve trading your first round pick and then really, really just positioning yourself nicely in the second round. Let's see. Yeah, not a lot of good names for it this year. Ben for Ben was really good. Dennis Smith, I mean, that should be a good one.
Something about assaults for faults. Maybe that's in bad taste.
Oh.
Maybe. I'll let the jury decide that one.
With domestic abuse charges.
That's true.
Infer what you will.
Could be like an assault on our eyes. Like that's how poorly the Bucks are playing. That's a good way to look at it.
Yeah.
That's way better.
So I think that's probably going to be a work in progress then. That's something we can revisit.
We'll this every week and have another 7-minute brainstorming session.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea. And then I think let's just wrap this up by quickly talking about what you guys are thinking about for the season outlook. So the over-under for the season came out at about 39.5. And then Middleton's injury only lowered that slightly to 37. And then I heard on Nate Duncan's podcast it was at like 38. But I'm going to go with the 37 number. And so what do you guys think? What's your feeling on this season? Are you thinking under that number, over that number? How has sort of the Middleton injury also recalibrated your expectations?
I think we just got to go with the under here. I think the Middleton injury, I don't think Vegas is weighing that quite as much as I would in my mind because of just how important he was to the team. I mean, he was the points leader last season. He had exponentially more three-pointers made and attempted than anyone else on the team. He was really like a cornerstone piece on offense, and losing someone that important to the team has to just completely tank expectations. Obviously, this gives a lot more opportunities to our other two young players, are Giannis and Jabari, but you can't fill the void left by Middleton, even with these extra pickups that we've had in the offseason. I think we got to go with the under on this. On these Vegas projections here.
Yeah, I was going to go under too. What did we win? 33 games last year?
33 last year, yeah.
I think it's going to be under. What do you think we are? Like fourth best team in the East now? Like, are we that bad?
I think so. I think the thing was that we were sort of slotted into that group of 4 through 12 or whatever that could compete for a playoff slot. But now I think we're pretty definitively in sort of the lower tier now.
Yeah.
I think we're down there with I think it's the Sixers and the Nets sort of are clearly the bottom tier. But then you look at the other teams. I mean, obviously Cleveland's at the top, Toronto, Atlanta, Boston, Charlotte, Indiana, Detroit, Chicago, Washington, Orlando, the Knicks. I mean, out of those teams, and I didn't mention really the only team in the East that I see that maybe could have some potential to really fall off is potentially the Miami Heat. Just because they lost without Bosh now, I think they're a little more tenuous, and if the Knicks get hurt, they could fall down too. But I just
Wade.
Yeah, Wade's obviously gone. He's in Chicago now, and we'll see what happens with Chicago. But I think, I'm definitely going with the under. I was a little tepid on the team even going into the season. I didn't foresee playoffs. I thought maybe they'd win 35 games, 36, but not really increase too much. And now I'm seeing it probably going down a decent amount. I mean, and also there won't be two super teams probably this year like the Spurs and Warriors last year, so there might be a few more wins to go around. But there's always going to be a team that just really doesn't perform as they're supposed to, and that was sort of the Bucks last year. And I know the weird part was I was looking at some season projections, and I think Kevin Pelton had us actually supposed to win like 39, 40 games this year. That obviously lowered after the Middleton injury, but so I'm definitely going with the under. And what for you guys? What's going to constitute a successful season?
I would say a couple factors.
Been important the past couple of years. It's watching the development of the young core that we anticipate to be leading this team into the future. It's seeing Giannis get more of those triple doubles. He already set a franchise record with like 4 in a season last year, whatever it was, when he got more than any other player in Bucks history. We want to see, we want to see us get a little bit more out of him. We want to see Jabari really develop in, what is ostensibly his second year. We want to see like that guy earn the paycheck that he's going to get, once he eventually has to sign that first deal with Milwaukee. We want to see those guys, what they can do. And I mean, without Middleton, that's more minutes to go around. So maybe we can see someone like Brogdon or someone like Vaughn really step up and become a really solid, consistent bench player. And I think that's what constitutes success for me this year, is being surprised by the progress that these players make, seeing them get significantly better than we were anticipating.
Playing off that, obviously progress. And I keep thinking of the idea that own the future has to be a temporary label. And I think this is the last year like that can be part of this team. It feels like maybe with the Middleton injury, you can extend it one more, but seeing how Giannis can play as the point guard, the point forward, seeing if that's a successful, viable option in the NBA, seeing if adding these 3-point shooters really does change an offense, evolution of Jabari Parker and confidence. And then I think one big thing is seeing if this coaching staff's defense and tactics can fly in the NBA, especially the defense, seeing how that rebounds, if that's even a possibility that can work in the NBA and not be awful like it was last year. I think that's a big factor.
I'm very curious to see how this season plays out, and how I'm really interested how the organization views this season now that Middleton's gone down, whether they view it any differently. Because very clearly on the outside, at least to my perception, it almost feels like a bit of a blessing in disguise, because it feels like it alleviates all the pressure from the team, and it's easier almost for them to just call it another developmental year. They don't feel like if they make the playoffs, it's a happy surprise, but it feels like it's easier to chalk it off as just another year where Giannis and Jabari are trying to get better, pushes back the development of the entire team. Maybe they get a good lottery pick, which in the long run would honestly be better for the team, just so they can get another really high-quality guy under a young contract. But I don't know if the organization really views it that way. It feels like they still expect this team to do well. So if things start going south, are they just going to keep riding it out and stick with the basically we're going to keep running with these guys, Giannis and Jabari are playing well, or are they really going to understand that maybe they have these 2 cornerstones that are good, and it's time to start taking a bit of this roster and doing a bit of a fire sale and seeing if there's a way that they can get cheap young assets and quickly reload around Middleton, Giannis, and Jabari. So I'm pretty interested to see how the season goes and how the organization responds to this season, whether it's they view it as how they respond to early season success or early season failure. So That's about it. So thanks for chatting, boys.
Great
Bucks.
pod.
That was just an absolutely spectacular pod. Bucks playing Madison. You guys are both going this Saturday.
You bet. You betcha.
You know I'll be there.
You guys are gonna light it up like that Fall Out Boy song, or they sing "Light It Up" over and over.
Oh.
Right. All right. Well, enjoy the game, and I'll be jealous of you guys being there. I'll watch it on Fox Sports or something. All right.
Sounds good, dude.
Peace.
Great work.
Talk to you soon.
$77.